Good evening, my sugar wiggers. Hey, my beautiful butterflies. Ms.V here. It's Monday, another day we have never seen. Happy Monday and welcome to the fantastic voyage. Thanks to my new subscribers and welcome aboard. We just out here on this ocean, sailing around the world, meeting new people, having fun, and chilling. Isn't that what you do when you're on a cruise ship? Yeah. You have fun on a cruise ship. No worries, not a care. So welcome to the fantastic voyage. Picking up new people, dropping some off along the way who have embarked on their final destination. Tonight, I would like to talk about Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon is a pioneer actor, host, comedian, entrepreneur, a true superstar. He started off with very humble beginnings. And I like to talk about people who went from rags to riches. Today, he's worth over $100 million just on his headphone sales of one of the companies that he owns. Some of the people that have influenced Nick is Will Smith, who signed him many years ago. He owns restaurants. He's in remission, I would say, with health care. He suffers from lupus. And he gives all the credit to his ex-wife and the mother of his children, Mariah Carey. When you are not afraid of dying, you focus on living. Welcome to everyone coming into the chat tonight. I appreciate you. He also had a 5-month-old son who died of brain cancer. So he's had his trials and he's had his tribulations. Like most people who embark on anything in life, there will be challenges along the way. If you just walk around every day and you do nothing, then you probably accomplish nothing in life. But there are some people who are just born with talent. Some people who are not, but they strive to be the best that they can be. Growing up, he had a big imagination as a kid and as a teenager. He grew up in the projects in California, but I always felt he could do anything. Sort of like me. I've always felt that there was nothing in this world that I couldn't accomplish if I wanted to. Through tumultuous times, he could still find joy through his pain. Very level-headed person. Throughout his entire life, he proclaims. Abnormal, but yet ordinarily, his life was definitely unorthodox. He actually went to his father's high school graduation. Imagine that. He's already born when his father is graduating from high school. So that tells me he is the father of teen parents. He was raised by his grandparents, a product of teen parents. His dad's parents stepped up to the plate and raised him. He actually gives credit to his dad for turning his life around from incarceration to college. In Nick's teenage years, he went down the wrong path several times. You can imagine that. Growing up in the projects, it's hell to beat the streets. Nobody never beats the streets. The streets always win. He has to know that the pot is hot when he goes after something. He had no real mold to mold him into who he really is today. I just told you he's the product of teenage parents. Grew up in Southern California. He came from the trenches, but he did not allow the trenches to hold him back. He had much creativity, and it transmitted into entertainment. He was famous in his hood, in the streets, on the block. The kid who could do it all. That's who he was known as. Funny at school, the class clown, but very charismatic. He had a very religious background, grew up very quickly around older people. His father was like a big brother to him, more so than a dad. Wise beyond his years. Actually, his father had 5 boys, and he is the oldest of the 5 boys. At 11 years old, he officially started doing stand-up comedy. Imagine that. For those of us who have had an 11-year-old or grandparents who have a grandson 11 years old, imagine your child doing stand-up comedy in a club at 11 years old. As the story goes, at 15, he started working with Jamie Foxx. Jamie even let him sleep on his sofa because he was away from home. He was from the projects. He also worked with Chris Tucker, Eddie Griffin, Snoop Dogg, Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant. May he rest in peace. He was a hustler who believed in himself, and he aligned himself in a direction he wanted to go. I think that's where a lot of people fall short. They know what they want to do, but they don't really know how to align themselves with the right people. And they fall short every time. The person that they are following tends to do well. They might even make it big. But if you following them and they're leading you, you better make sure they lead you in the right direction. As a 4-year-old, he was introduced to all of these people by just watching them on TV like most of us do. He started young, knowing who he was and where he wanted to go in life. He believed in ordering his steps. There's a gospel song out there that's called Order My Steps, Lord. He is an attention seeker. When he walks in the room, he scopes the room. He looks to see who's in the room and where he needs to sit in the room. He studies the room. A lot of people just walk in a room and look for a table and sit down. I've never done that. I'm much like Nick when it comes to being out in public spaces. I study the room. And I usually come in and sit at the back of the room. I don't want to be at the front of the room. I don't want to be around people who have already made it, because I never want anybody to think I'm a clout chaser. I have a brain. I can do it on my own. So, being influenced by other people you may know, which would be Eddie Murphy, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Ice Cube, Too Short, Jamie Foxx. He had nowhere to go but up. These people had already made it. He's younger than them. Jamie Foxx, he says, is a great storyteller. He knows how to captivate a room. And there are people out here who can do that. They can captivate your attention without even seeing who they are. When you do get to see their face, you may be even shocked at what they look like. Some people are born with the gift of gab. And they can attract an audience of people. Tonight, I'm here to tell you that Nick has built a $1.3 billion empire. Is that not a rags to riches story? I would think so. Will Smith even taught him music, how to read chords, and hooks. He had no idea when he started the rapping business, nothing but how to put the words together. But it's a little bit more to it if you're going to be a successful rapper. You need to know a little bit about bars, repeat signs, treble clef signs. You don't have to know how to read the notes, but it has a beat that goes with it, and it has music to go with it. So you need to rap to the beat of the song that's playing in the background. He perfected his craft, his integrity, and his character, and that has played a big part to his success. There was a time in his life after meeting Will went broke. A lot of celebrities do. A lot of celebrities have passed on and we thought they had plenty of money and they were very broke. I can remember in my era, Red Fox, Sammy Davis Jr. These people were so deep in debt. And they didn't really know because they didn't have formal educations. They didn't have anybody to teach them. They went out there and they just worked on their trade and they did well. We thought. They had TV shows. They had everything it took. But all it takes is to spend one penny over $1 million and you're broke. And the worst thing in the world you can do is to have money and get the enjoyment, the feeling of having it, and then look up and it's no longer there. It's gone. James Brown was another one. He did quite well to have no formal education, to have had as many children as he had, and several wives. I can remember as a little girl, James Brown coming to the Monroe Civic Center, and I was in go-go boots going to see him. He flew in on his own plane at Monroe Regional Airport. I didn't know any blacks that had their own plane at that time. But James did. But he let the drugs take over. And that's what ruined his life. And then after you get to be a certain age, he started gaining the weight. He couldn't really slide across the floor. And he wasn't attractive as he was. Never was a good looking man to me. But it was his persona, how he presented himself with the capes, the processed hair, as they called it back in the day, which is no more than a relaxer. And he gave you a show. James would be soaking wet when he left the stage. And he had a hell of a band behind him. So anybody can reach the top and fall to the bottom if you're not careful. The higher up you go, the more likely you are to fall. You got to take each step every day, one step at a time, and make sure your foot is planted solid on that ladder. The fall is hard, and getting back up is even harder. So Nick made his first check, and his first check was $100,000. And he made that check in 6 months. Well, the typical thing to do is to go out and buy you a what? A car. That's all you want to do. You want to ride. You want a clean ride. You don't even think about where you're going to lay your head. He's young. He doesn't have wisdom. There's nobody to tell him but the people that he is around. But he did say that Will Smith told him, don't do that. Yep. But he did. Got that Range Rover with no garage to put it in. No carport to drive it under. My dad always told me, Cadillacs were big back in the day for black people. And he had a Cadillac. And he always said, I got a hog because I got a pen to put it in. He had a garage, in other words. A carport to pull it under. Where most people from his era were pulling their cars up in the front yard by the front door. And that looks so crazy to me, to pull your car up. You got this great big beautiful car that you're pulling up in the front yard by the front door. But that's what they did. As soon as they got a little money, they had to go get the car. He had a TV sitcom, and he credits Will Smith with helping him with that. Also Quincy Jones. So he had big name people around him to help him strive to the top and to let him know the mistakes that they had already made. But being young, he was only 19 years old when he did all of this. The show was never even picked to go on the air. Again, he goes back to Jamie Foxx. And he instructs him. He thought at that time he had arrived. The show was supposed to be called Dreamline, a record deal. And he got that after the show failed because of Will Smith. So he connected to Jamie Foxx and Will Smith as a young kid, and they actually helped him along the way. He called Kevin Hart his best frenemy because he said there was like competition, but it really wasn't. They operated on the same frequency. a very high frequency. Jealousy was there. Envy was there. Hate was there. But they managed to live through it and grow through it. And instead of being frenemies, they became friends. At 17, he was the youngest staff writer, massive in the UK because of Nickelodeon. We all remember Nickelodeon. He did a lot of warm-ups or preludes for other people to get known. These same people who were helping him from the age of 11 let him come out first. And that's how we grew to know who Nick Cannon was. After he wrote his own show for Nickelodeon, he signed to Will Smith. The show was supposed to be called Loose Cannon, an epic fail. So those were his challenges. I mean, he would go up and he'd fall down, and he would go up and he'd fall down. And a lot of people do that to get to the very top. Not too many people just run it straight through with nothing happening. Everything is good. Everything is positive. You have to be born with money. And even at that, you may face challenges. Could be health challenges. You never know. At 13 years old, he was a writer, performer. He was like a one-man show. He directed and he promoted everything he did. So that tells me he had to be very smart, a very brilliant person. And he operated in his own gift. It wasn't like he went to them and stole their audience. No. That didn't happen. He had to convince people to follow him, to buy his music, to listen to his rap. They could only do so much from the business standpoint of it. And that's it. So from 19 to 22, he had the Nick Cannon Show. Drumline and comedy. His motto is to do it and stick to it. I like that. Don't just try. Do it and stick to it. Embody every aspect of it. Cultivate the seed. Don't just plant the seed and walk away from it. Water it. Nurture it. Watch it grow. Don't ever put your eggs in one basket and leave them with one person. They might not be there when you get back. I learned something from Oprah when she had her show. I used to watch her every day. And she always said she signed her own paychecks. So she knew every check where her money was going. And I followed her for a long time. She started off in Baltimore on the news and went from there. Not a very attractive woman at all. Heavy set, afro, sitting behind the news desk. But look at where she is today. Do what you do best. Do what you enjoy. And the money will come. A lot of people will start out and they just looking for dollar signs. And they reach that plateau where they don't know where to go from there. They get old. They get boring. They don't come with anything new. They don't know how to direct their life and how to direct their platforms or how to direct their music careers or whatever they may have chose to do. And you always got to stay creative. You can't just do the same thing every day, all day long. Even if you're a musician and you're singing music, you got to change something about it. Every tune can't be the same tune. Sometimes you got to wonder, is that really who that is, or who is that singing? It's a good song, but you don't even recognize the voice because they've changed it up so much. Money doesn't make you happy. Happy makes you money. And that's what will make you happy. Who wants to go around and even work with a stressed out person? A person that's always unhappy, upset. No, I can tell you that. I've made it through a lot of storms in my life just by being a happy person, laid back, relaxed. No arguments, no fussing, no cussing, no fighting, but walking away from it because I didn't see what that was going to do anything for me. And it wouldn't. Fear, being lonely, vindictive, that's sad money. That's not happy money at all. So don't let money become a transaction for you. Nick is now a music executive, and he also proclaims to be somewhat of a narcissist. Narcissists are control freaks. They have to run everything. And if you're around them, they will run you. They will use you. They will deflect off of you. You will become a follower of them. And the minute that you do something they don't like, here they come. They got to get rid of you. They've got to make you look small because it makes them look big. And some narcissists have done quite well. There are times in your life where you may have not started out to be that way, but you get to that point where you have to take control of your life. And I'm not talking about a payday to payday person. I'm talking about people who have really reached that pinnacle point in their life. Be a him. I've done a video out here that says, be yourself, be you, and be all that you can be. Love yourself. If you don't love you, you can't love nobody else. I don't care about everybody else loving me if I don't love me. Because you're still going to be sad and lonely when they're gone. You are actually feeding off their energy when you are a narcissist. So this is the story of Nick Cannon, his rags to riches story, which began shortly after he was born at the age of 4, to be out here today as a billionaire. I had no idea what he was worth. I had no idea how many companies he owned and how many streams of income that he had coming in. I kind of lost him after he and Mariah broke up. And now he's a great father. She contributes that to him. And he's now molding his children. He doesn't want to make the same mistake that his father made, and letting them be who they are and what they want to be. Suffering from lupus and having other health issues, he still carries on. He still gets up and he goes to work every day. Because once you get there, you got to stay there. You can't just fall back then You got to go harder. So that's the Nick Cannon story for tonight. Let me get into my chat and talk to my sugar woogers and see who all came into the chat tonight. Hello, respectfully yours. How are you doing tonight? Hey, Sherry. Hello, ma'am. Love you from Houston, Texas. Love you more. Sting is in the building tonight. I appreciate you coming in modding for me. Hey, Lily. How you doing tonight? Thank all of y'all for the hearts and the roses. Sting is listening while cleaning. So I have a little music playing in the background. I don't know if you can hear it, but I didn't want it to be just so quiet in here tonight because I really wasn't presentable to come on. I didn't get home until about 6:30. I came in. I fixed me something for dinner tonight. I sat down and I ate. I got my little wine. And when I looked up, I was like, oh, Lord, it's already past 7:30. So I decided to come out because I promise y'all, I've had this story for about 2 weeks, putting it together to actually present it to you. And every night I was like, oh man, I don't even feel like coming on because I was going to do this last week and didn't. Hey, Real Spills, how you doing? Welcome to Chatting with Ms.V tonight. Jules, put your team down there because I'm confused as to who your football team is. I don't know. I thought you said it was the Chiefs and the Eagles. But then last week, I thought you said something about the Packers. We were talking about football this morning, but you weren't in here. Hey, Carla. Hey, Lily F. Good evening. Hey, Tajissi. Glad to catch you live. I appreciate you catching the live. Hi, Latina. Good evening to you as well. Sleepless Nights is in the building, and she came in with some hearts and some roses. Sting says, me either. I study the room also. Yeah, it's to me, it's very important to study the room. You just don't bounce off in there and don't know who's in the room. You may not recognize everybody, but sometimes you can pick out personalities by their behavior. If they're over there and they're very loud and they're seeking attention by being loud, I don't want to be on that side of the room with that person because that person has captivated that little audience he has around him. I'm going to the other side of the room, okay, where it's quiet and it's more peaceful and I can observe the whole room. Sting says DJ is one of those people. I'm not sure what I was saying at the time because I wasn't reading the chat as I was going along. Carla, I agree, Sting. Yes, James Brown was one of those people that went from rags to riches back to rags again. And if you recall, when he passed away, he was left in a cold storage that they had put in his home. And it was months before the man was even buried. And I was like, wow, because there was such confusion over what money he had. And a lot of people die broke, but become very wealthy after death. Michael Jackson was one of those people who owed everybody, but owned more after death than he did while living. Yep. Once all his assets were sold off, and he was probably much more wealthy because for years Michael was on drugs after the Pepsi mishap, and he didn't do anything but just travel and spend money, run up tickets, bills. Linda P say, hello, Lady V, mods and chat. Been on vacation celebrating my birthday. Well, I'm glad you were able to do that, Linda P. Where did you go? Sting says, watch out there now. Go-go boots. Yeah, I had my go-go boots on at the Monroe Civic Center. Sure did. And that's where I got the opportunity to see a lot of people who came through on the Chitlin circuit. Back then, they were selling records out of the car. And they would do that Chitlin circuit, which would start up in the South around Georgia and work its way through Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, on into Texas. They made a lot of money because that was our entertainment. And they could just about come through and charge what they wanted to, even back then, to see them. There were no $20 tickets. They had to pay for being in that Civic Center. And they drew a crowd. And usually they had more than one night because it would only hold so many people. So they would do a Friday night, Saturday night, and sometimes Sunday night before they moved on to the next place. Yep, I can remember it like it was yesterday. I had some white go-go boots. The wrap dresses were in, and I had on like a tangerine dress that wrapped with a white piping on it with my white go-go boots. Thought I was the bomb.com. Hey, Mildred, how you doing? What's up, Mama V in chat? This is Miss Joy. How are you doing and feeling tonight? I'm doing well. My kids were just lovely on the bus this afternoon. They didn't give too many problems. I guess they were kind of wore down after the weekend and today being Monday. So I always give my little kids toys in the evening, something for them to play with until we can get them home, and that keeps them quiet. And the high school went to sleep, and the junior high school, that's the ones that really cut up. So I guess out of all of them, I had to move around a little bit with them because for some reason they were wired up this evening, clapping, laughing. And when one started laughing, the whole bus started laughing. I thought to myself, hell, it's better for them to be laughing than to be in here sick, moaning and groaning or doing other things they could be doing. Real Spill say, yes, Lord, you're speaking facts. Sting, a car, yep, that's what most of us do. Go out and get a nice ride. And that's what he did. Yep. Even though he was told not to. We're back to Nick Cannon now. Yep. Mildred says, happy birthday to you with so much love, Miss Joy. Oh, happy birthday, Miss Joy. We will celebrate birthdays over here around the 15th of the middle of the month for all of the October babies. I don't want to forget it like I did with the August babies. I mixed them with the September babies. No, in the middle of the month, we're going to catch all of the October babies and get it out the way. I don't even want to wait to the end because too many things pop up in my life, and then I'll be rolling it over to Thanksgiving. I was wishing you, Linda, Miss Joy. Okay. That's right. Linda had a birthday. She said she's just getting back off of vacation. So, Linda, we're going to celebrate all of the October babies' birthdays around the middle of the month, sometime around the 15th, whatever that weekend is. Okay? Sting of the Black Scorpion, but he kept getting up. Yes, he did. He did not. And that's the good thing about when you fall down. Don't lay there and wallow. Pick yourself back up. I don't care if you have to hold on to one string at a time to lift yourself back up. Even if it takes days to get up, get up. Just get up. Good for him, yes. And you got to remember, he was very young when all of this happened, Sting. He started out at 4, really knowing which direction he wanted to go in, becoming the class clown, entertaining the class, entertaining the streets, being well known on the streets. So from there, he was able to meet people who had already become successful, and that really steered him in the right direction. But you know, a teenager that's making that kind of money, 6 digits as a teenager, come on now. He got to have a ride when he show up in town. Princess in the building and speaking to everybody. Respectfully yours says amen. Mildred is giving me a thumb up. Sting, I remember Oprah back then. Yeah, I watched Oprah I always went to the set because I looked at this black lady and I looked at her life and all the things she had to overcome in her life. And to start off as a newscast and take it to the next level of owning your own show and your own network, and now have homes wherever she wants to have a home and can buy whatever she wants to buy. I even saw that show that day when she went into this really nice shoe store and purse shop, and the lady didn't want to really even talk to her or recognize her because she didn't know she had enough money to buy the store if she wanted to. And she talked about that on her show that day because she didn't look the part. She was still big Oprah then. She hadn't lost all the weight. And I guess with the afro or whatever, she didn't look like she needed to be in that store. But little do you know, that's what I always say. Stop trying to judge a book by its cover. You'll be wrong 90% of the time. Sandra McHenry, hello everyone. How's everyone doing this evening? We're all doing fine. We haven't gotten any complaints from the chat. Hey, Holistic, welcome to Chatting with Ms.V this evening. Okay. Let's see. Jennifer Thomas is in the building tonight. Sting says, my husband was a narcissist. He tried to drain the life out of me. He got worse when he started doing drugs. So I had to bounce after 22 years. You got to do what you got to do. And even when you get away from these people sometimes, they can still antagonize you. They can still be heavy on your heart. I've met quite a few narcissists in my life. And I want to say my second husband had all the characteristics and traits of a narcissist, and that's probably why we're not together today. If he didn't have the last word or the control over it, it made him feel like less than a man. And you get tired of that. We were together 20 years. And you just get to a point where I don't want to live like this any longer. I don't care how much money you make, and I don't care what you do for me. I want a peace of mind. I don't have that peace of mind with you. And that's what I needed. And thank God I found it with the last one. Jennifer says, can someone tell Carla hello, boo? Hello to you, Carla, from Jennifer. Y'all are all speaking. It's a Cancer Thing is in the building tonight with hearts and roses. Welcome. Come on in the building. Hey, Suke, how are you doing? I'm going through my chat now. Happy Monday to you. Also, Blue True. I'm getting on down there. Carla says, Sting, tell Jen, hey, girl. All right. Y'all are still speaking. Thank you for the hearts and the roses. Joy, I appreciate that. See, Miss Mildred, I got it right that time. Hello to everyone coming in, and thanks for joining Ms. V's page. Like and share. I'd appreciate that. Someone who can hold a room. DJ Ms. V. Yeah, she's very good. She's very, very good at entertaining and carrying her audience. She's not the only one out here that can hold a room. There's several content creators, in my opinion, that can really captivate you and you don't even see their face. And there are others that I don't think captivate at all. And they do all right, but it's like, I don't even know what they're saying. I have no clue. I have to study the English language to figure out what are they saying. But they tend to captivate an audience. So it's all in who a person really wants to gravitate to, I think, Sting. It's a Cancer Thing. I pray all is well with your brother and family. Yes, we can't forget that she's going through an ordeal with them. And a Cancer Thing, I had my surgery on Monday on my eye, last Monday. So it was a week today. And I'm still wearing the dark sunshades, the blue rays out in the sun, because my eyes really haven't adjusted that well to the sun. But I am seeing so much better. But he put the lens in mine. I don't know if you got the lens when you got your eye surgery, but Um, I'm having to adjust to it also because it feels like I'm wearing contacts, but I see so much better. Hey, Miss Wonder Clayton, thank you for coming in tonight. Look what happened to Beretta. He killed his wife. Exactly. And didn't he get off with that, Sandra McHenry? Yeah. Linda P. I went to Chattanooga and ATL. I worked hard and make sure I take a vacation every 4 months. I did that for years, Linda P. Every 4 months. Those 10 years we were in Baltimore, especially. It wasn't even 4 months. It was every other month we were out of there. And I guess God had a plan, and maybe, I don't know. I can't say that. But this was a type of man that would just walk in on a Friday afternoon after he had finished whatever job he was doing, and he would say, "We going to Old Ocean this weekend. I forgot to tell you, I didn't bother to tell you, but we catching a cruise out next week. Where we going?" He was very spontaneous. You had to stay ready. And I'm glad I did because I saw the world with him. I am doing great. I completed another requirement to get onto the kidney donor list. Thanks for asking. Wonderful, Holistic. Hopefully you'll find one soon. Okay. Holistic, thank you. The doctor is trying to send him to a rehabilitation center, but he's too weak. He's not eating. That's not a good thing. Y'all have got to get some food in him, even if it's through liquid. He's got to eat. Then his body's going to get too weak. That's what happened to my brother. He just quit eating completely. He didn't want to eat anymore. And I was like, Lord, this is not going to turn out good. And it didn't. Happy birthday, Mrs. Joy from Sandra McHenry. Hey, Elaine, you caught alive. Okay. Happy birthday again to you, Linda. And like I said, we will celebrate all of the October birthdays around the middle of the month, sometimes between the 15th and the 20th, whatever weekend falls in between the 15th and the 20th. Okay. Let me see. It's not my birthday. I was saying happy birthday to Linda, Sandra. My birthday is November the 28th. Okay, so you got a birthday next month. Next month is going to be kind of sentimental to me. My mother's birthday was November the 20th. My brother's birthday, the one that passed a year ago, is November the 20th. He was born on her birthday. And my Aunt Lila, who kept me as a little girl when my mom was going back to college, her birthday is November the 20th. So I'm not big on the holidays anymore, y'all, as I think I've already told you, because most of the people that I love dearly are in the graveyard. So the holidays, I have to keep myself up and in a good frame of mind and a good spirit, because it's not anything like it used to be. Miss Betty say, hello, Miss V. And chat, love your presentation tonight. I learned something new, and coming from you, it was so captivating. Thank you, Betty. I'm bad? Had a phone call? Okay. It's a cancer thing. I am praying for you. Is he able to sip a smoothie? Got to get something in him. A cancer thing. If so, make a smoothie and add some protein so he can gain strength. Right. Great advice, Holistic. Cancer thing says he just wants to eat or drink anything. All he want to do is sleep. Oh, he doesn't want to eat or drink anything. All he wants to do is sleep. Okay. Hey, Miss America's in the chat. Hey, Miss America, what's going on, baby girl? I haven't heard from you. I tried to contact you, but I guess you were in school. You told me you were going back to school, so I guess that's where you've been. Hi, Derek. How you doing this evening? I am doing great and had a wonderful day, Derek. Thank you for coming in. I'm going to call you tonight or tomorrow. I promise. Okay, Cancer thing. If I can't pick up because I'm working or I'm asleep or whatever, I'll be sure to get back with you. Okay. Linda P is thanking everybody for the birthday wishes. Miss V, how are you doing? I'm doing great, Derek. No complaints here. None whatsoever. Sting is speaking to everyone that she missed. She said she got a phone call and she had to leave the chat. Hey, how was your day, Wanda? From Derek. Miss V, how is Miss Margaret? Oh, Miss Margaret called me this evening about 7 o'clock. She drove herself home from the hospital today, Sandra. Hey, we might be old, but we can do a whole lot of things. Tell me somebody been laying up there in the hospital for 2 days and get up and leave the hospital and drive herself home. I stayed on the phone with her from the hospital to her house. And when she got there, she was like, oh, my yard needs to be done and my plants need to be watered. And I'm like, you've been laying down for 2 days, just doing a little walking around the room. I think it's getting dark. You might need to go inside, take a shower and lay me down. And those plants will survive till in the morning. You know Hardhead went out there and watered them plants. Sure did. But thank you for asking. She is going to be wearing a heart monitor. And she's got a lot of doctor's appointments to go back to. They still don't have the echocardiogram results back yet. But you got to remember, this lady's in her mid-70s. So I think she's been pretty healthy up until now. And she is one, she's hard-headed, but she will go on and go to the doctors and do what they say because she wants to live. I'm at that age that I want to enjoy myself while I still can. You're better. I have a girlfriend that went all the way to the Holy Land this past year. And a lot of things she couldn't do because of it's so steep and the hills that you got to climb and all that walking and stuff. She had to get off the bus and sit and let other people bring her back pictures or send her pictures. And the trip was so expensive to go over there for that many days. So do it while you can. I would strongly advise that. I don't regret any trip I've ever taken, Linda. And I don't care if I never go anywhere anymore. I enjoyed every trip I took from the time I started traveling at 21. Wanda Clayton is telling you happy birthday. Sting, you are November the 7th. You and my sissy are born on the same day. Hers is November the 7th. Linda P. Lady V, every time I tune in on your live, it's always pleasant. That's the way I want it to be. That's what I created. I wanted to create. And I was hoping that I got nothing but like-minded people who want to sit back, relax, just chill for an hour, 30 minutes, or whatever time I have to give, and enjoy and pick up something from it. If you've lived 69 years, you should have something in the message that a younger person could pick up or an older person could agree with. That's all I've ever wanted out here. Nothing more and nothing less. Okay, Miss Mildred Joy says, I am going to be 63 years old on November the 28th. I was born in 1960. Wow. I can remember 63. That was a good years. I didn't even feel like I was 63. I don't feel like I'm 69. I feel just the same way I did in my 50s. I'm not lying to you. And when something happens, I just get up and fix it and I just keep on going. Yeah. I figure one day I'll have to sit down and I'll sit down when that day comes. But until then, I'm not letting a chronological age hold me back. For as long as I can do what I need to do or go where I need to go, I'm doing it. Holistic say, Sandra, my birthday is November the 28th. Oh, so we got some twins in here. Same birthdays. Miss Joy and Holistic. Thanksgiving baby. Oh, wow. Holistic is speaking to you, Miss America. No, she's not in the chat. I was saying she can hold an audience. Oh, yes. Miss America is good at doing that. She really is. And she'll be back out here. She's going to school right now. I forgot how long she told me the classes were going to be, but it's probably hard trying to go to school and do homework and get up every day. About the same as me going back to work, trying to do something I've always wanted to do. It's just certain things that I wanted to do, and the time didn't permit it. Like, I wanted to be a flight attendant all my life. And I didn't get a chance to do that until I was in my 50s. I wanted to work with children all my life. And I've worked around many children, but never the type of children I'm working with now that are special needs children. And I feel like my classes in psychology are helping me a lot with them. I've pretty much figured out all of their personalities now. I'm seeing some of the character traits of autism and whatever they're diagnosed with. And I can pick out when they're getting ready to have their little episodes of whatever is going on with them. I have the paperwork on each one. I've read up on each one, so I know what to look for. And most of them are pretty mild-mannered. I don't have any that are really just off the wall, that just, you can't control them. They listen. If I tell them, calm down, you're too loud, calm down. You know, today they were just happy. They were just clapping and they were happy. And I don't know what they were thinking in their mind or I don't know anything about what was going on. I just know they were happy and they were clapping. And when one started, the whole bus got happy. And I was like, man, I wished I had what they got so I could throw it out here in these streets and make everybody happy. Okay. Carla says, holistic, my son's father, who is my ex-husband, was the worst narcissist and still is. It's hard. I think once you are diagnosed, or even if you're not diagnosed, if you live around these people long enough, you can pick up their traits and their habits, and you can just see it. They have to control. They got to be in everybody's business, and they got to give their opinion of it. And they don't even have to know the people. They're very persistent people. It's like, at some point, don't you get tired of trying to run everybody else's life and everybody else's business when I don't see anything going on in your life? But they got the answers. This is say, oh, Sandra, sorry about the birthday. What happened? Ms.V, yeah, you and Holistic are birthday twins, Mildred. Yeah, Joy. I've never wanted to travel, Ms.V. Really? I've enjoyed it. I really have, seeing different parts of the world, Sting. But one thing I've learned, traveling around the world, people are the same everywhere. You're going to have these same personalities you're going to meet. It's only so many personalities out there. And I don't care what nationality they are. You're going to find those personalities in all of my travels. I don't care where I went. I could pick out the good, the bad, the ugly. I could pick out those who had some serious issues. The eyes always told me a lot about the person. When a person can't look you in the eye and speak to you and talk to you without looking around or diverting the conversation, they can't speak to you about anything, whether it's a problem or whether it's not a problem. They got to go to somebody else. I can't deal with those kind of people. What's up, Chi-Town? You in the building tonight, low-end sister? Appreciate that. Have you heard from Miss America, Chi-Town? Because I haven't. Good night, everyone. Rest in heavenly peace. Love you all. Love you more. They're speaking to you, Chi-Town. Sting is. Linda P. said, I'm 65 and living and loving life. Live your best life, okay? You don't know how many years you got left. And my husband is 43 years. And that's okay. At 43, It doesn't matter whether you're 65, Linda P. It's the maturity at that point. He's had time to go out there. Look at Tina and her husband. She was much older than him. That man loved her until death, even gave her one of his kidneys so she could live longer. I don't think age got anything to do with it after a certain age. Once you hit that middle age, all that running and stuff that the men like to do and chasing the women from city to city, town to town, that's over. That's behind them by that time, hopefully. And they know what they want out of life. Yeah. My husband of 43 years. Wow, that's a long time. That's a lifer there. Tajista, you're a November baby too, huh? And y'all know I don't know very much about the zodiac signs. I really never got into those. I just felt like it's too many people in the world to just have 12 signs, and all these billions or trillions of people around the world are going to fall into 12 signs. I don't really think I fit any of those signs. It depends on the circumstances with me. Last night, I'm not the person I was last night. This lady was coming for me last night, and I let her know how I felt about it. So that may have fallen under a totally different sign than I'm under today. I don't know. I'm the same when it comes to certain things. I'm a loving person. I'm a giving person. It's just certain things I like. But I think that's just who I am. But so far as my character, my personality, it can change. It depends on who I'm with, how they treat me, is how I'm going to act. So I'm February the 19th. Is that a true Pisces? Is that who they really are? I don't know. You have a granddaughter that's November the 16th. We partied at Club America the other night, Ms.V. I caught the tail end of it. She was getting ready to go off. I got up to use the bathroom. Y'all were over there late. And I turned it on. And I said, well, ain't no sense in me going off into the chat tonight because she getting ready to go off. She talking about last call for alcohol. Linda P, no, my husband is 69. We've been married for 43 years. Beautiful. Lovely. Zeus, the mastiff. I guess I got that right. Hey, sis, hope you're doing well. I am. And I want to appreciate y'all. Let me read holistic because my hour is up. So I'm going to get ready to get off of here. I can't shake him. Today I was leaving for my app and the doorbell rang and my son looked out peephole. He was said, it's dad. Carla, he bought me my communion and wanted to take me to the doctor. Nothing wrong with that. Forgive and forget. That's the hardest thing for people to do. It's hard for me to do. Once somebody has betrayed me, did me wrong, and I know they did, I don't really like to be around them anymore. It's just, I don't hate them. Or I don't dislike them. I just don't want to have anything else to do with them. That's who I am. You had the opportunity, but you took advantage of the opportunity and you betrayed me and you tried to hurt me for no reason. Nah, I choose to move on, and you gone on about your business too. That's just me, okay? And like I say, I don't dislike them or I don't hate them, but I don't care to be around them either. Because if you do it once, you'll do it again. That's who I am. But y'all, it's been fun. I hope y'all have appreciated the chat tonight. Yes, I did what I could from me before and after he passed. And you did, Sting, because when he passed, you were over here with chatting with Ms.V. because I remember sending you a donation. But like I said, nothing lasts forever. So, I mean, you're free to be you now. And he's gone on, rest his soul. Yes, I know who you're talking about, Sting. All right, y'all, it's been fun, but I got to run. I appreciate each and every one of y'all coming into the chat tonight. I have forgiven him in order to move on. You have to. If you don't, you'll hold on to it for life and you'll leave here with it. And I don't think life was intended to be that way. God didn't create the heaven and the earth in 6 days and rested on the seventh for any of us to be walking around here mad, sad, lonely, unhappy. That's a choice in life. So I choose not to be. And I hope y'all do as well. Good night to each and every one of y'all. Hit the like button on the way out, and I'll see you good guys tomorrow. Have a great night's sleep. Bye-bye.